primary and secondary level, the right to further education, which the state is enjoined to make progressively available and also from ministries for implementation under the 100-day program. The first one was heard from the Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Water, Climate, and Rural Resettlement. These are some of the projects within the 100-day program. First one, irrigation development of 443 hectares of functional irrigated area. 2, fencing of 100 kilometers of Gonare-Zhou National Park. 3, issuance of 500 A1 permits and production of 200 A2 farm diagrams. 4, improving livestock and agricultural water supply through rehabilitation of 882 boreholes, drilling of 50 new boreholes, and equipping of 97 boreholes. And finally, 5, the eviction of 500 illegal farm settlers. From the Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science and Technology Development, Cabinet received the 100-day plan as follows. Number 1, implementation of geospatial, aeronautical, and space science capability programs. The Zimbabwe National Geospatial and Space Agency Board is currently being established, while the associated research programs are already in progress. 2, conducting the cattle reproductive technologies research program, we should see the production of 4,000 straws of semen per hour using the automated process at the Chinhoyi University of Technology. The program is scheduled to be launched in January 2019. The other program in the 100 day of the Ministry of Higher Education is establishment of innovation hubs and industrial parks, with the UZ Innovation Hub already 80% complete. It's already 80% complete in the University of Zimbabwe. While construction of the superstructure at the Chinhoyi University of Technology is also complete. For capacitating teachers in the teaching of science with the objective of starting with at least 1,000 science graduates and the equipping of 10 science laboratories. And 5th, increasing absorption rate of post-O and A-level students in Zimbabwe in order to reduce unemployment of youth. This will be hinged on the introduction of the apprenticeship program, for which interviews for suitable candidates to start in January 2019 is already in progress. The ministries will be requested to provide regular feedback to Cabinet on these 100-day programs. The Cabinet also received an update of the junior doctor strike from the Minister of Health and Childcare. Cabinet, while noting the ongoing efforts to resolve the matter, agreed that henceforth the engagement process be under the guidance of Honorable Vice President Chiwenga. Cabinet also had a report concerning over continuing road traffic accidents, and to that, Cabinet expressed grave concern over the continuing occurrences of fatal road traffic accidents, with the latest being the recent head-on collision of the 2 commuter omnibuses in Murewa district, which has so far claimed 14 lives. It is regrettable that the accidents continue to be caused by human error, implying that they can otherwise be avoided. Cabinet consoles the bereaved families and wishes a speedy recovery to those injured in the accidents. And with the festive season now upon us, we urge all our motorists and the public at large to exercise extreme caution on the roads. I want to thank you sincerely for coming and listening to the Cabinet.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Now, you introduce who you are and what organization or media you represent. Yes, please.
My name is Anujina. I write for News.com. My questions are because the issue of strike protests. We also understand that the senior doctors have joined this strike. And are there any content measures that the government is putting in place for the festive season? Since we know that accidents do happen and people already are not accessing road services.
Thank you very much. Yes, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Richard Chiza. I am with Newsday. My question relates to the eviction of farmers. That was indicated that the Cabinet approved the eviction of 500 farmers. Do we have a clear indication of where these farmers are? These are illegal farm settlers actually. Do we have an indication of where they are and what is going to happen to them? Because likely they would be uprooted with their families. They would have moved in with their families onto these farms, albeit illegally. But what is going to happen to them? What is Cabinet set aside? It set aside some funds to help them or relocate them, something like that.
Okay, thank you. Yes, please, at the back.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Owen Mandova from ZBC. My questions are directed to the Minister of Agriculture, retired Marshal Perensiri. Two questions basically. The first one is with regards to the priority projects under the 100-day plan. The issue of irrigation development. Is it the government which is going to undertake the development of this land for irrigation? Because I understand it's a very expensive project, or it's going to be private sector led. The second question is with regards to the fears that with the discontinuation of the Command Agriculture program, the farmers who had relied on the inputs from the program, they didn't manage to plant enough hectareage to sustain the country in the forthcoming year. Are you aware of that situation, or is it true that we are not going to get sufficient agricultural production next year? Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, please, fourth one.
My name is Lapton from Truth Institute. My question is directed to the Honourable Minister. Recently, the government said that it would address the issue of fuels, but just 6 days to go before the festive season. Actually, in the festive season. What has the government done to alleviate fuel shortages? Because we continue to see long queues everywhere. Is the decision going to be better, especially leading into the Christmas Day? Then the other one is with regards to the issue of prices. There is that norm again that towards Christmas we see prices fluctuating, and it's happening. It's continuing to happen. But government recently also said that you are going to address, or you address that issue. Where are we now in terms of pricing?
Okay, thank you. We will give a chance to Honorable Ministers.
Yes.
Through the chair.
Okay, thank you, Chief Secretary. I can see the Minister of Health and Childcare is not here. The first question which was asked was about we got an update on the doctor strike, and the question was whether there is what is being done to make sure that during this festive season, at least there will be doctors taking care of our people in the hospitals. A lot of work has been done, and the report actually shows that there is a lot of engagement going on between the ministry and the doctors. And as you have rightly heard us, it has been even elevated that the minister will be working very closely with the Vice President to make sure that the situation is alleviated. I want now to go to Honorable, the second question was from Newsday, Richard Chiza. It's directed to the Minister of Lands and Agriculture. It's your turn.
Thank you very much. The first question was whether we can give a clear indication of the whereabouts of the so-called illegal settlers and what shall happen to them. The illegal settlers are found throughout the farming areas. So basically, you find them in all the provinces. We have identified where they are, and we are proceeding with the evictions. As to what will happen to them, we expect that they shall go back to where they came from. If they've got any challenges, well, we have got a social welfare department which can look into that. But our task is to ensure there is total stability on the farms. The second question was to do with the irrigation development, specifically seeking to establish who was financing the development of the 443 hectares. Basically, it's a sort of a PPP, whereby we've got the private sector working together with the government. And in this particular case is JICA, which is a Japanese aid agents coming in with the irrigation equipment, government providing land and the training of farmers. The third question was on availability of inputs for this current summer season. Everything possible is being done to ensure that farmers go back to the land, and the government will leave no stone unturned to make sure we produce enough produce, not only for our own consumption, but even for exports. Yes, there could be challenges here and there, but that's why we are there to look into those challenges and resolve them. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Minister Perensiri. And the other question which came from, is it 263? Yes, the issue of fuel, if there is an issue whether we have enough fuel for the festive season, and also the issue of price hikes. We do not have the Minister of Energy and Power Development and also the Minister of Industry and Commerce. But the report was received, and everything is being done to make sure that we will have enough fuel for our festive season. There is no stone being left unturned to make sure that our people will have enough fuel for the... Yes, we've got challenges as you continue to see the queues, but a lot of work is being put, a lot of engagement between the RBZ, the Minister of Energy and Minister of Finance to make sure that our people have got at least fuel to visit their home areas. Equally, the government is seized with the problem of price fluctuation, and a lot of work is being done. A report was also given by the Minister of Industry and Commerce to make sure that this issue will be dealt with. Government is alive to the problems which are facing our people, and everything is being done to make that we alleviate the suffering of our people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Second round, we'll give you another one bonus for Christmas. Yes, the back there, lady, and I'll come to you. Thanks.
All right, thank you. My name is Takuchi Mbakwe from Zim Papers TV. All right. My question is regarding the update you gave us on the road traffic accidents, where you highlighted that you are also noticing the accidents and you're concerned. But 2 weeks ago, if not 3, we were in this very room and you gave us an update that you were going to take measures which you were going to announce shortly, but unfortunately we've not heard those. And one of the things you're talking about was to place governors on the different public transport vehicles that were carrying people so that to limit speed. And you're also talking about ensuring that buses that are traveling overnight will be stopped from doing that. But we continue to see these buses at different pickup spots in the evening. So What is government doing as the problem continues to persist? And you already highlighted this 3 weeks ago. What are you doing to make sure that lives are saved? Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, please.
My name is Lucy Yasin. I'm a freelance
Yes.
journalist. My question is related to what is just asked, but mine is looking at the statutory instrument 129 that was put in place in 2015. What is government doing to implement that? Because that statutory instrument is talking about installing gadgets, devices on public transport vehicles so that they limit the speed. Is there any move to implement that statutory instrument?
Okay. Yes.
Pauline Hurungudo, Daily News. Probably following what my colleagues have asked as well. I think there's also speculation to say that some of the accidents are being caused by exhaustion because the drivers are having to sleep in queues for fuel. So you mentioned the issue of human error when it comes to accidents. Is there also a possibility that, the current situation that we have where people are having to sleep in queues for fuel is also maybe contributing to the escalation of accidents on our roads?
Okay. Last one. Okay, I'll give you all yours. Okay.
My name is Fidelis Munyoro from the Herald. It is common cause that each and every ministry was given its targets to achieve within the 100-day period. I want to find out how many ministries have achieved their targets, and if there are ministries which face the challenges, how many are there?
Okay.
And what kind of challenges did they face to achieve their targets?
Okay. Yes.
Thank you very much, Chidza, again from Newsday. Maybe just two questions. The first question, there are reports from South Africa that a warrant of arrest has been issued against former First Lady Grace Mugabe. Does Zimbabwe have an extradition treaty with South Africa? And would government have a position on that in that regard? Then the second question would be, you talked about Vice President Chiwenga now being in charge of the negotiation between government and striking doctors. The last time the Vice President was given charge of this issue, he issued a statement or in order for doctors to go back to work without real negotiation, which kind of caused some consternation among medical practitioners. What kind of communication is government sending to the striking doctors when it brings back Vice President Chiwenga, given that he might again probably issue?
Okay, let me have the last one. Yes.
Frank Chipore, freelance journalist. Honorable Minister, we saw Deputy Minister of Information, Mr. Energy Mutodi, tweeting that there's going to be a cabinet reshuffle that is going to be targeting underperforming ministers. When is this coming? And who are those?
Over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Chief Secretary. Chambako from Zim Papers, he was talking about accidents, and we were laughing because the minister was saying, but we have always had accidents. No, it's not, it's Urungudu who said exhaustion because drivers are spending a lot of time on the queues for fuel. So for Zim Papers, it's about the measures which, yes, we have, our Ministry of Transport is actually implementing what we actually talked about last time. This is exactly, once Cabinet approves what needs to be done, the Ministry of Transport then implements, and that's in the process of, we are aware of the fact that it's a question of limiting speeds, making sure that where there are no gadgets, if they can't be put now, maybe they will have a policeman traveling with buses. Certainly we want to save people's lives. It's critical, and I think government will leave no stone unturned. We want to make sure that our people at least go through this festive season safe and sound. The issue of installing gadgets, as you rightly say, it was already, and I think I can ask the Minister of ICT if you want to talk to the gadgets, because we talked about it. Yes, okay.
Okay, thank you, Minister. Yes, and like the Minister said, it's a process. Minister of Transport have already started working on this issue. They are obviously coming up with the model first on how this is supposed to be done. As you'd appreciate, there are so many ways of doing it. We could either, and in the long run, obviously, what we'll try and achieve is to have what we call smart transport at the end of the day. But meanwhile, there are other options that can be pursued, and this is what the ministry is engaged with. For example, you could either have the gadgets, as alluded to by the lady over there, on the governance, if you like, but you can also have, some gadgets that tell you where each and every vehicle, public vehicle is, or bus is, and what speed they are using. And this system is already being used in certain sectors in Zimbabwe, especially with the private sector. So the ministry is looking at, they are weighing the options as to which technology to use, which is very effective. So they assist with that matter. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister of ICT, Minister Kazembe. Hurungodo from Daily News, you talked about the escalation of accidents coming from the exhaustion. And I was just talking, he was talking to me and he said, but we've always had accidents. Yes, we do not like few accused. It's really wasting time, and this is why government is working very hard to make sure that at least we eliminate all these few accused. But the escalation of accidents is due to many other things, human error being one of them, and these are what the Ministry of Transport is actually dealing with at the moment, and a lot of intervention is actually coming in to make sure that we save our people's lives. And then the other question came from about which ministers, how many ministers have achieved targets. When ministers come with their 5 programs for the 100-day target, they make sure that they are achievable. And in this particular case, the 100 days, we have not come to the end of the 100 days. And I think I can safely say, I think what the ministers have come up with to cabinet is actually achievable, and they're working very hard to make sure that they achieve their targets. The issue about when we reported that the minister, the vice president, we are actually saying we are looking at it very seriously and bringing in the highest office, I mean the second highest office in the country of the government, to make sure that they work very closely. It's not like the VP is the one who is going to be negotiating with the doctors. But we've said the Minister of Health and Childcare will now be reporting to the Vice President on daily basis to make sure that everything which has to be done is done, to make sure that the strike comes to an end. We actually would like our doctors to take people's lives seriously and consider that we are now getting into the festive season. A lot of our people will be traveling to their homes, and it's important, and accidents can happen, and it's important that our hospitals are properly manned to save our people's lives. So the other question, this press conference is actually for giving you feedback on the what would have transpired in cabinet. And any other questions can be answered at any other particular time, if that is okay. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much. I think for some of you who have not been coming, the cabinet decisions are focus of our media briefing. Anything outside that, it will be unfair to ask the ministers to respond on that. So I think let's stick to the mandate. So we wanted to take this opportunity to thank you very much and wish you a happy, prosperous and peaceful new year. Thank you. We meet next year. The chair has already mentioned that this was our last cabinet. So we are convening first week of February. So thank you very much.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. Thank you very, very much. Let's continue to work together in the coming year.